Welcome to Operation End Times. I'm your Jedi warrior for Jesus, Bent Hellistead. This is the Builder Series, Part 3, Day 1260. The 88s, Part A. How's that for a title? Anyway, today is October 25th. Tomorrow is October 26th, Sunday, 10/26, which is close to 1260. And, the synchronization, is off the charts. Both light and dark, The 88s, the 44s, the 33s, the 11s, the 9s, the 6s. Doesn't matter, Numbers in and of themselves are neither good nor bad. It's all in how you apply them and how your eyes perceive the synchronicity and the perfection that is out there. A lot of times when people are looking at the numbers, they basically apply it to just dark things, shadowy things that they find. And the powers that be, the principalities in high places, hey, they know the glory of the synchronicity of the light, so they apply it to their shadowy side too, because they love to twist it up and distort it and make it look like they're the ones in control, but they're not, God is in control. Jesus Christ, He's the master architect, the creator of all there is, and maybe we'll get to that. I'm gonna, as always, I try and keep these videos under 15 minutes, and there is so much to go through. That's why there's part A, probably gonna be part B, C, and maybe I'll just keep rolling them out. So today maybe we'll get several parts to this the Builder series, day 1260 and the 88s. But over on Tribulation, 05/15/2011, that's when the blog started. It's been a day count, and tomorrow is day 1260. 1260 is mentioned about 7 times in the Bible. It has a couple of different forms. Sometimes it's the number itself, but then it'll be referred to as times, time, and half a time. Like 3.5 years. And it's also referred to as, I think, 42 months. And 42 is like a synchronized number. I lived 42 years in San Jose. I'm now up here in Reno living on 42 acres. And, the place I'm at is right next to the desert wilderness. It's a mile up in the air. I'm right by the clouds. And, God sent me here, man. You can check the videos on Tribulation, and there's a couple of them that are up there where I went up on a mountain and, the Spirit was blowing in a mighty way. But, that's what it comes down to, your perception, your ability to discern. Are you seeing light? Are you seeing dark? Are you thinking light? Are you thinking dark? If your eyes be seeing light, then everything about you is filled with light. Whereas if you're seeing shadows, that means you're filled with a shadow. One of the channels I watch is Entertaining the Stars, and that brother is always putting the numbers together, but it's usually in a shadowy way, but God bless him, man, because I do believe he is, a brother walking in the light. But, it's like, do you see the glory? A lot of weird stuff going on. The Ebola stuff, thought it was over, and now it's kind of a doctor brought it back to New York. Out here in Reno, the winds are blowing like 60, 70 miles an hour this morning. The weather up here is always crazy, and there's these glorious clouds in the sky, in the stars, been all sorts of stuff happening. Alignments, Mercury and Venus aligning with Earth, big-ass earthquakes, volcanoes going off, huge sunspot, 2192, biggest one in 10 years, been blasting off X-class flares. Not a whole lot of CME action, but the magnetic shields are fluctuating. There's gamma ray bursts everywhere. And I was watching Suspicious Observers this morning, and there was the Eclipse the other day, which I looked at here in Reno, and they found there was like some ships floating across the face of the sun, man, because it wasn't no sunspots, man. But Suspicious Observers has it in his video, the one for today. If you check it out, something's up, my friends, you know. Just so you know, me personally, you know, I've never made any claim to knowing the future or being a prophet, you know, and in my relationship, in my walk with God, I tell him that I don't want to see the future, and that's why it may be a little bit irritating, but as we talk about what's going on, which tends to look into the future, I don't give a whole lot of huge details beyond what's like out there and that other people have prophesied and like stuff that's in the Bible. I don't do my own prophesying, you know. But, you know, Jesus tells us that if you're not walking with him, you know, it's a pathway to destruction. And that's why there is doom, man, you know, because there's a choice that you have to make. I've been talking to several people in the last couple of days. You know, we have the choice of whether we want to listen to God, hear God, and walk with God, or we want to walk away and stop listening, you know. And if you want to walk with God and you want to listen to God, you got to work at it, man, because it's communications, and then you got to get a relationship going, and that's where Jesus Christ kind of steps in. But, you know, if you choose not to have a relationship with God, well, then you're on a shadow path. Now, ultimately, you know, what comes out of your mouth is important, but what is reflected inside of your heart is extremely important. So you could actually be walking around with a veil, denial, you know, where you're saying, hey, there is no God, or there is God, but I don't believe in Jesus. But if you have love and truth inside of you, you're on the same path, you know, headed towards the same shore I am, you know. And at some point, your eyes will be open to the fullness of truth. Either that or mine will be, you know, but right now I think mine are, you know, because I can see Jesus, you know. I can feel his presence, you know. And I work at talking to God, you know. I walk out into the desert every morning, headed towards the sun, just trying to communicate with God, you know. So, anyway, day 1260 is tomorrow. I'm going to cut the music here. Like I said, we're just going to dip our toes in this little video. But here's how the synchronicity works. Day 1260, you know, the 88s, hey, you can see 88s everywhere. In fact, the more you look for synchronicity, the more you see it, because it's a reflection of the glory that the world as we know it is perfect order. It's not chaos, man. The chaos is caused by those who have their eyes closed and are walking in a shadow. But you can apply the synchronization in a million different ways, you know. So tomorrow's day 1260 for me, for my video blog, my Tribulation 0515 2011 video blog. Now, you can apply 1260 like Nania. You know, she has this timeline that I love looking at where it seems like it's synced right up to the 3D carnal timeline that we all seem to have been taught and lived our whole lives, you know, where Jesus was born like 2,000 years ago, whatever. So you can apply the 1260 and the 1335 and all them numbers that way. But everybody has their own 88. Everybody has their own 44. Everybody has their own 1260. It's just whether you're aware of it, can see it, and know that it's in motion, you know. So for me, for whatever reasons, I do have a 1260 coming up tomorrow, which is the day count on my Tribulation video blog on YouTube. So I can apply that synchronization. I'll go to the Bible. That's why I find synchronization everywhere. You know, it doesn't have to be in the Bible, but the Bible has amazing synchronization. And, you know, for those people out there, you know, every one of you, you know, there's Harlan who I just disagree with that guy and want his channel shut down because he's afraid of the Bible and his eye is closed. He can't see the light. He just sees darkness. But that's how it is with the Bible, is unless you can see the light and the Spirit of God, and you're tapping into the divine circuitry to guide you to see things, you'll see so much darkness in the Bible, you'll start thinking that the devil himself wrote it, you know, and that just ain't true, you know. You know, the devil might have put some stuff in there, but there's plenty of truth and amazing things to be seen. So 1260, you know, it's in the book of Daniel. I think it's Daniel 8. You know, there's the 8s. It's in Revelations 11 and 12. All the words in the Bible when it comes to the Hebrew alphabet and to the Greek, if you're looking at the Blue Bible online, they're all numbered. Like the Hebrew words are H and then a number, and then the New Testament, which was in Greek, it's G and then a number. So I got the Blue Bible booted up on my computer here, so I'm just going to type in G1260, the 1260, G1260, so we can do a little search and say, what's the synchronization of the word, the G1260 to just 1260 that I'm experiencing? You know, like you can't always apply the 1260 to the one that's in Revelations. Maybe we all go through that, maybe we don't. But like I said, we all have our own 44s, we all have our own 88s, and they can all be positive or dark, depending on how you're walking and what you're seeing. But G1260 is a Greek word, dialogizomi. Looks like dialogizome. But what it means is to bring together different reasons, to reckon up the reasons, to reason, to resolve in one's mind, to revolve in one's mind, to deliberate. It's used 16 times, which is 8 plus 8, or 4 times 4, in 15 verses. And once again, the 8s and the 4s are all over the place. Matthew 16, verse 8, there's the 44s and the 8s. It says, when Jesus perceived, he said unto them, O ye of little faith, why reason ye among yourselves, because ye have brought no bread? Here's one of the powers that Jesus had that shows his divinity, is he could read minds. He read minds all the time. And when under this word, the 16 verses are all pretty much, it's Jesus recognizing, like Mark 8, verse 17. When Jesus knew it, he said unto them, why reason ye, because ye have no bread? So he could read what was in people's hearts and what was in people's minds. But G1260, this word, dialogizima, I may not be saying it right, but it means to think with your human mind. You know, you're not asking God for any help. You're reasoning with your own mind. And that's why when you look at these verses, some really dark stuff happens, because what it is it's the council of the Pharisees, that when they reason amongst themselves, they say it's better to kill one guy than a whole nation to suffer, and that's when they decide to kill Jesus. And the guy that's the high priest, his name is Caiaphas, and that's amazing too, because he's the high priest and his name means rock or stone. And that's why rocks and stones, Jesus is the cornerstone that the builders, the human mind, people that were using their own reasoning, rejected. You know, are you one of those people still rejecting Jesus because you're just like, you cannot put him up where he belongs, you know? But anyway, Caiaphas, his name means rock and stone, but he's the one that kind of swings the council and says, let's go get Jesus. And what's kind of interesting is Jesus at that point, it's in John 11, verse 50. It says, nor consider that it is expedient for us that one man should die for the people, and that the whole nation perish not. That was Caiaphas thinking, you know, the high priest, when he was telling the council, the Sanhedrin, hey, let's go ahead and, crucify Jesus. But what happens in the book of John there is Jesus, he knows it's not safe for him and his disciples in Jerusalem, so he goes out into the wilderness, and he goes to a city called Ephraim. And Ephraim on the map of Israel is right here. And there's all sorts of stuff we're going to get into, because, you know, Joseph had 2 sons, Manasseh and Ephraim, and he tried to bless Manasseh, and it got switched up to Ephraim. There's Mount Ephraim. The Ark of the Covenant was over here. There's a temple. There's a lot of guys named Michael or Micah, he who is like God. A lot of spiritual stuff happening in Ephraim. But Jesus and his disciples, it was safe for them. That's where they went after the council decided that they were going to go after him. But the synchronization of the 1260, if we then go to the Hebrew and we type in H1260, hopefully this will come up here. But reasoning with your own mind, that's being your own builder, which is a mistake. You know, you want God to be the builder, so you pray to God always for guidance. But Hebrew H1260 is the word bered, B-E-R-E-D. It's actually pronounced bered, and it means hail. And, hail is right there in Revelations, hailstones coming down. They come down in the Old Testament too, like when the children of Israel are the 10 plagues. So Bered is hailstones, but he's also a son of Ephraim. So right there, look at how that synchronicity, Jesus went to Ephraim, the city of Ephraim. A city, spiritually is a collection of people, stones, and like New Jerusalem dropping down out of heaven. Oh, I got to stop. Sorry.